Dr. O, as usual, sharing the somewhat more intimate parts of my life from a multitasking place, because it's too difficult for me to talk about this shit without also doing something like knitting or driving or whatever. If people see that as manic, I think that's a lot of people get labeled manic who have this particular temperament that I am describing. Okay, having said that, I am officially divorced. As in, I just have to take these papers to a certain place that opens again in 15 minutes, but it closed for lunch. The magic of all of this, the drama, dynamic restructuring of archetypes, memes, and association. What are some of the archetypes? Victim, hero, shero, immigrant, migrant, expat. So with those things rearranging themselves in so many ways, I share a story. It may be a little bit gory. This is the gory channel right now, okay? So the highs and the lows of finalizing my divorce in real time with the object of my plaintiff whatever thing, with legal language and all that high King's English bullshit, knowing that this guy himself has been illegal many times in many ways, but his white privilege gets him not even noticed, and that he and the white young, looked like he was fucking in kindergarten, attorney that helped make this all happen, they both had this little exchange with me sitting there. I don't think I looked too angry. I didn't have my sunglasses on, but I deserve to be fucking righteously indignant about life, the universe, and everything right now. So as they did the little paperwork, they tisked between themselves about white privilege, and oof, it's so hard to be looking at all of this from so far away. So I had nothing to say at that point. I did not wish either of them evil curse things, but I have noticed on the other end of all of this what I'm seeing, and one thing that I am clearly seeing is an now ex-partner who is still suffering. Lack of recognition, feeling unloved. That's the interpretation of this human having a nosebleed in front of me that he didn't notice. And I'm looking at it saying, do I say anything or do I not say something? Because it's just a tiny little trickle over our pancake breakfast. Okay? So when he figured out it was blood, I didn't even say anything when he figured out it was blood. I said, I am used to Yankee culture now. He is descendant of white Brits who emigrated to Canada in the 50s, okay? So he was born in Canada. All right. He has all these sneaky ways that he's been able to have a U.S. Social Security card. And if he were Mexican with that, he'd be in a detention center, at least. And he knows it. He knows what the privilege is. That's why they were tisking it together. So that was probably the hardest part of my newly divorced status, was recognizing that sometimes, I'm flashing a little bit again, that's why I've got the windows down. Sometimes my fears that I am unwelcome, unwanted, and unloved are real. And I just have to deal anyway.